5,3.
Okay, so we are going to have a quiz on Friday, and it'll be on the 3 different forums. We did a forum yesterday and then on Friday. What was that called? Anybody remember? Standard form, that's right. So today we're going to be doing factored forms. Tomorrow you will be doing vertex form. So factored form. See how we have some factors here? So what we can do is we can find our roots. So we can find where the graph crosses the x-axis, or the x-intercepts would be another name for them. Okay, any point on this axis, for example, this point here has a y value of what?
0.
0, that's right. So what we're going to do is we're going to set our y value equal to 0. And we're going to solve it. So how can we solve that?
You do the little, like split in half, and x plus 5 equals 0.
That's going to be the fastest way, the easiest way. Anybody remember what this is called?
Wait, where'd you get the -6 from?
It's a 0 addition.
I just put a point there.
See, you're paying.
It's called a 0.
0 will.
0 in property, or there's one other word. 0
product property.
product property.
0 product property.
So this is a 0 product property. You can only do it. You can only do it when it's equal to 0. So we get what for our x value here?
-5.
-5 and -3. So this point would be -5 comma. What would the y value be?
0.
0. And then the next point is -3,
What?
0, because we set our y equal to 0.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So we're going to plot those 2 points, -5, 0, and -3, 0. So it turns out, whenever we have 2 points, they look at these points, they are right in the middle, the axis of symmetry is right in the middle of them. So what would the axis of symmetry be if it's right in the middle of those 2 points there? What would that x value be? What number is right in between these 2 points? -4. So this is a distance of 1, 2. So half of that would be 1. So we go 1 this direction or 1 this direction. So we have an x value of -4. We don't need to compute that. We've already found our 0. So we can just look at halfway in between them, and that'll give our x value of our vertex. But what would we do to find our y value of our vertex? Yeah, we want to plug it into our equation. So we have y equals -4 plus 5 times -4 plus 3. So now how would we simplify that?
Wait, oh, no.
We could, or we could just add what's inside there. So this gives us -4 plus 5 is 1, right? And we're multiplying it by -4 plus 3 is -1. So we could distribute it with, and it would give us the same answer. It's just a lot more steps. And then what do we get when we multiply those two? What's 1 times -1? -1. So our y value of our vertex is -1. So -4, -1, and we have our 3 points. So that's the nice thing about this method.
Oh, wait, this one's easy.
So what is my axis of symmetry? It's my equation. And there's something that should be in front of that. What's equals? Good. X equals -4. So when I give you one of these on a test, do you think that I'll take off if you don't have an X there?
Yeah.
Yeah. So make sure you put that X there. It's really easy to forget it. So what's my domain? Negative infinity to infinity, that's right.
Sorry.
And then somebody in this group over here, what's my range? Good, and that negative one will have a parentheses or a bracket. So -1 to infinity. Okay? Let's go on to the next one. Okay, so what did we do to start? Set our y equal to 0. So what could we do with that 2 there? What's that? You can divide it out. You could distribute it. It would be more steps. Be quicker to divide the 2 out. So as long as it doesn't have an x after it, we can divide both sides by 2. So 0 divided by 2 is 0, and that's equal to x minus 3 times x minus 1. And then somebody in this group here, what do we do next? Good. So we get x equals 3 and x equals 1. So one of my points is 3, 0. And the other one is 1, 0, because my y value is 0 there. I made it 0. So let's graph those points, 3, 0, 1, 0. And so I want to draw my axis of symmetry, which would be where?
In the middle too.
That's right, in the middle, which would be here. And that x value is a 2. So we want to find the y value, and we do that by plugging it in. So pay attention here. So we have a 2, 2 minus 3, and 2 minus 1. We have to leave that 2 there when we are finding out what our y value is. We only divided by 2 when it was equal to 0. So we would get 2 times -1 times 1. And what does that give us? -2. That's right. So 2, -2.
I knew that.
And then we have our 3 points. We have our graph. What is our axis of symmetry? Putting this group here. Our axis of symmetry. Good. If you remember the x equals 2. Our domain. Somebody in this group back here. What's our domain? That's right, -infinity to infinity. And go ahead, find the range too. Good. Bracket -2 to infinity. So on this last problem here, the format is a little different, isn't it? So what can we do? It's in standard form. That's right. So if you wanted to do what we did when it was in standard form, you can do that. Or this one, we could get it in factored form. What would we do to get it in factored form? Yeah, make the x. So there's 3 terms there. It's a trinomial. What multiplies to 8, that adds to 6. 4 and 2. So y equals x plus 4 times x plus 2. Do you want me to finish that, or do you think you know what to do from
We
there?
should finish it.
I'm happy to finish it if you would like me
Yeah, we
to.
should finish
I
it.
think that, yeah, I just wanted to show you one like that. It might. Would you like me to finish it? Okay. Can I get